The low hum of advanced quantum processors filled the bridge of the U.S. horizon, a subtle symphony of technological marvel that most would never appreciate. Captain Jack Harrison studied the star charts with a practiced eye, his fingers tracing holographic lines that represented unexplored star systems. The ship's mission was deceptively simple: scientific exploration of the outer rim territories, pushing the boundaries of human knowledge into regions where no human had ventured before. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller, the ship's chief science officer, approached with a datapad clutched in her hands. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight regulation bun, but her eyes sparkled with the enthusiasm of a researcher on the brink of a breakthrough. "Captain," she began, her voice cutting through the ambient bridge noise, "we're picking up some unusual gravitational anomalies in the Epsilon 9 sector." Harrison raised an eyebrow. Unusual was an understatement in deep space exploration. Every anomaly could be a potential scientific gold mine or a deadly trap. "Walk me through it," he said, his voice a low, measured tone that commanded attention without raising volume. Sarah's fingers danced across the holographic display, bringing up a three-dimensional representation of space that seemed to hover between Harrison and the main view screen. Complex gravitational waves rippled through the projection, creating intricate patterns that defied standard stellar mechanics. "These readings are unlike anything in our current database," she explained. "The gravitational distortions suggest the presence of something massive, but not a traditional celestial body. It's almost as if space itself is being bent." The bridge crew listened intently. This was why they were here, not for conquest, not for military might, but for pure discovery. Each member of the Horizon's crew represented the best humanity had to offer. Brilliant minds from diverse backgrounds, united by an insatiable curiosity about the universe. Marcus Walker, the ship's lead engineer, leaned forward from his station. A veteran of numerous deep space missions, Walker had seen his share of strange phenomena. "The quantum stabilizers are showing some interesting feedback," he noted. "Whatever is causing those gravitational waves is generating an energy signature that's playing havoc with our sensors." Harrison nodded, a slight smile playing at the corner of his mouth. Uncertainty was the lifeblood of exploration. "Maintain current course," he commanded. "But I want continuous monitoring of those anomalies. Sarah, run a full spectrum analysis. Marcus, keep those stabilizers at maximum sensitivity." The bridge was a portrait of controlled excitement. Each crew member moved with purpose, their actions precise and calculated. They were more than just a ship's complement. They were a finely tuned machine, each part working in perfect synchronization. Lieutenant Elena Rodriguez, the navigation specialist, called out from her station. "Captain, I'm detecting some minor course corrections might be necessary. The gravitational waves are creating some interesting navigation challenges." Her fingers flew across her console, making micro-adjustments that would look like magic to anyone outside the field of advanced space navigation. What the crew didn't know, what they couldn't see, was that they were being watched. Far beyond the range of their most advanced sensors, something was observing the U.S. horizon with calculating precision. The ship moved like a shark through the void of space, sleek, powerful, and utterly unaware of the predators that might be lurking just beyond perception. Captain Harrison felt a familiar tension at the base of his neck. After decades in space exploration, he had developed an almost supernatural sense for impending danger. Something about this mission felt different. The gravitational anomalies, the strange energy readings, the sense of being watched, it all pointed to something extraordinary about to unfold. "All departments, maintain full alert status," he said quietly, his order cutting through the bridge's controlled atmosphere. Something's coming. Little did they know how prophetic those words would prove to be. The U.S. horizon continued its journey, a beacon of human curiosity and technological marvel, moving ever closer to a confrontation that would become legendary among the stars. The universe, vast and mysterious, held its breath. The first indication of trouble came as a barely perceptible shift in the electromagnetic spectrum. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller's scientific instruments began to chirp with an urgency that instantly set the bridge on edge. "Captain," she called out, her voice steady despite the growing tension, "we're detecting multiple massive energy signatures emerging from subspace." Captain Jack Harrison's posture changed imperceptibly, the subtle transformation of a predator becoming aware of a potential threat. His eyes locked onto the holographic display, watching as ghostly shapes began to materialize around the U.S. horizon. They were unlike any ship designs humanity had encountered before. Crystalline structures that seemed to bend light itself, with angles that defied conventional engineering principles. "Tactical assessment," Harrison commanded, his voice a calm counterpoint to the building storm. Lieutenant Elena Rodriguez's fingers danced across her console, running rapid computational analyses. "5 primary vessels, sir. Estimated mass suggests they're significantly larger than our ship. Their energy signatures are, well, they're off the charts. Our sensors are struggling to get a complete reading." Marcus Walker, the chief engineer, leaned forward with a mixture of scientific fascination and professional concern. "These aren't standard propulsion systems," he muttered, more to himself than to anyone else. "The way they're manipulating subspace is unlike anything in our database. It's almost like they're folding space around themselves rather than moving through it." The massive alien vessels continued to coalesce around the horizon, their surfaces shifting and shimmering with an almost organic quality. They didn't just look like machines, they appeared to be living entities, breathing and pulsing with an alien intelligence that sent a collective shiver down the human crew's spines. A thunderous communication burst suddenly filled the bridge, not in any human language, but in a complex series of harmonic frequencies that seemed to vibrate at the edge of perception. The ship's advanced translation systems worked frantically to decode the message. "Attention human vessel." The translation finally resolved. "You have entered prohibited spatial jurisdiction of the Haelor Dominion. Prepare for immediate surrender and processing." Captain Harrison's response was instantaneous. "Sarah, full spectrum analysis. Marcus, I want a complete diagnostic of our defensive systems. Elena, plot potential escape vectors, but don't make any sudden moves." The bridge became a hive of controlled activity. Each crew member moved with a precision that spoke of countless hours of training and preparation. They weren't just responding to a threat. They were analyzing it, understanding it, preparing to potentially turn it to their advantage. High Strategist Voxnar, commanding the Haelor fleet, watched the human vessel with a mixture of contempt and curiosity. In thousands of stellar cycles of conquest, no species had ever remained this calm in the face of total annihilation. The humans weren't scrambling. They weren't begging. They were studying. "Initiate preliminary bombardment sequence," Voxnar commanded his tactical officers. The order was less about destruction and more about testing, probing the capabilities of this unexpected resistance. On the horizon's bridge, Marcus Walker's eyes gleamed with an almost predatory excitement. "Captain," he said, a note of anticipation in his voice, "our quantum reactive hull is fully charged and ready. Those energy readings they're putting out, they have no idea what they're about to feed us." Sarah Miller added her own observation. "The gravitational anomalies we detected earlier, they might be connected to these ships. Their method of subspace manipulation is creating some fascinating quantum interference patterns." Captain Harrison allowed himself the slightest smile. Most species would see this as a moment of terror. His crew saw it as the ultimate scientific opportunity. The first energy weapons from the Haelor ships began to charge, brilliant cascades of destructive potential that would have vaporized most known spacecraft instantly. But the U.S. horizon wasn't most spacecraft, and this was far from a typical first contact scenario. As the alien weapons prepared to fire, a sense of anticipation filled the bridge. Not fear, not panic, but a calm, calculated readiness that would soon prove to be the Haelor's most fatal miscalculation. The universe held its breath, waiting for the first strike. The first volley of Haelor weapons struck the U.S. horizon, with enough destructive potential to obliterate entire planetary networks. What happened next would be recorded in galactic archives as one of the most remarkable defensive displays in known space. Instead of explosion, there was absorption. Chief Engineer Emma Rodriguez watched the holographic displays with a clinical precision that bordered on artistic appreciation. The ship's quantum reactive hull wasn't just defending, it was transforming. Each particle of incoming energy was being analyzed, cataloged, and repurposed in milliseconds. The Horizon didn't just survive the attack, it consumed it. Quantum resonance at 87% efficiency, Marcus Walker called out, his voice a mixture of scientific excitement and professional calm. Hull integrity maintaining maximum adaptive response. We're literally eating their weapon signature. Captain Jack Harrison stood motionless, a study in controlled observation. His eyes tracked the complex interactions happening both inside and outside the ship. The Haelor weapons, designed to shred molecular structures, were being transformed into something entirely unexpected. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller's scientific console erupted with a cascade of data. "The energy conversion is beyond our initial theoretical models," she reported. "We're not just redirecting or absorbing the energy. We're fundamentally restructuring its quantum state. It's like the weapons are being digested by the ship's systems." The bridge crew worked with a synchronicity that defied typical human limitations. Each movement was precise. Each action a calculated response to the alien assault. They weren't just defending. They were conducting a real-time scientific investigation of an unprecedented technological encounter. On the external hull, something extraordinary was happening. The ship's surface began to shimmer and shift, no longer a solid metal construct, but a dynamic membrane that responded to each incoming energy burst. Crystalline patterns formed and dissolved, creating adaptive camouflage that confused the Haelor targeting systems. Weapon signatures are becoming increasingly erratic, Elena Rodriguez reported from the navigation station. Their computational systems can't reconcile our response pattern. We're generating quantum interference that's completely disrupting their attack matrix. High Strategist Voxnar watched in mounting horror from the lead Haelor vessel. The human ship wasn't just surviving, it was learning. Each weapon strike provided more data, more understanding. What should have been a moment of total destruction had become something else entirely. Marcus Walker's fingers flew across his console, implementing adaptive algorithms faster than most computers could process a single calculation. "Hull is now operating at quantum entanglement mode," he announced. "We're not just defending. We're creating a predictive response matrix that's 2 steps ahead of their attack patterns." The scientific implications were staggering. This wasn't just a defensive mechanism. It was a living, breathing technological organism that could adapt in real time. The Horizon was transforming the very nature of space combat, turning destruction into a form of scientific research. Sarah Miller's scientific curiosity overcame her professional composure for just a moment. "The energy conversion rate is unprecedented," she muttered, more to herself than to the crew. "We're seeing quantum states that shouldn't be possible under current theoretical frameworks." Captain Harrison allowed himself the slightest smile. This was why humanity had ventured into deep space, not for conquest, but for understanding. Each moment of potential destruction was an opportunity for discovery. The Haelor weapons continued to strike, each burst becoming less effective. The Horizon's hull had become a living system, drinking in destructive energy and transforming it into something entirely new. It was as if the ship itself was a massive, complex scientific instrument, turning an attack into the ultimate research experiment. "Adaptive resonance at maximum efficiency," Emma Rodriguez called out. "We're now operating at quantum states that are completely decoupling their weapon signatures." The bridge crew worked with a calm that would have terrified any traditional military commander. They weren't scared. They weren't even particularly concerned. This was, to them, just another fascinating problem to solve. High Strategist Voxnar's communication systems began to fail. The human ship was generating quantum interference that was systematically destroying their ability to coordinate attacks. What had begun as a simple extermination was becoming something far more complex. The U.S. horizon continued its impossible dance, transforming destruction into understanding, turning an alien assault into the most significant technological research opportunity in galactic history. The universe watched and learned. The main engineering bay of the U.S. horizon hummed with an energy that transcended mere mechanical operation. Chief Engineer Emma Rodriguez moved between holographic displays like a conductor orchestrating a complex symphony of technological innovation. Her team worked with a synchronicity that bordered on the supernatural, each member anticipating the next move, each action part of a larger, intricate design. "We're not just defending," Emma muttered, her fingers dancing across quantum interface panels. "We're turning their attack into the most comprehensive technological research opportunity in human history." Marcus Walker approached with a datapad filled with quantum computational models. The ship's defensive response had generated terabytes of unprecedented scientific data in mere moments. "Look at these quantum entanglement patterns," he said, excitement barely contained beneath his professional demeanor. "We're seeing fundamental interactions that challenge everything we know about energy transfer and quantum mechanics." The Horizon's engineering team wasn't just responding to an attack. They were dismantling it, understanding it, and preparing to use it as a weapon of scientific discovery. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller burst into the engineering bay, her scientific curiosity overriding any sense of potential danger. "The energy signatures were capturing or rewriting our understanding of subspace manipulation," she announced, spreading holographic data across the main display. Complex mathematical models danced in three-dimensional space, showing how the Haelor weapon systems were being systematically decoded. Emma's fingers moved with surgical precision. The ship's adaptive systems were no longer just a defensive mechanism. They had become a living research platform. Each incoming energy burst was being broken down, analyzed, and transformed into something entirely new. "We're creating a resonance frequency that's going to systematically unravel their shield harmonics," she explained, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and professional calm. The engineering team worked in perfect harmony. Software engineers rewrote quantum algorithms in real time. Materials specialists analyzed the molecular interactions of the ship's adaptive hull. Computational experts created predictive models that seemed to anticipate the alien technology's next move before it could be implemented. Quantum computational matrix is now operating at 300% theoretical efficiency, Marcus reported. The numbers would have been impossible just moments ago, but impossibility was becoming a relative term aboard the Horizon. Captain Jack Harrison's voice came through the communication system. "I want a full breakdown of their technological infrastructure," he commanded. It wasn't a request for future analysis. It was an instruction to understand the enemy's technology in real time, while under attack. Sarah Miller's scientific mind was working overtime. "These energy transfer mechanisms," she said, pointing to a complex holographic model. "They're not just weapons. They're a form of communication. The Haelor are transmitting information through their attack vectors." Emma Rodriguez's eyes lit up. "Then we'll speak their language," she responded, her fingers already implementing a complex series of quantum algorithmic transformations. The engineering bay transformed into a hub of controlled chaos. Holographic displays showed complex mathematical models, quantum interaction patterns, and real-time adaptive responses that would have been considered impossible by any standard scientific framework just hours earlier. "We're creating a quantum feedback loop," Marcus explained to a junior engineer. "Each of their weapon strikes is giving us more information about their technological infrastructure. We're not just defending. We're conducting the most comprehensive technological analysis in human history." The Haelor had intended to destroy. Instead, they were providing humanity with the most significant technological research opportunity ever encountered. Emma Rodriguez looked up at the massive holographic display, a slight smile playing across her lips. "They have no idea," she muttered, "that they're teaching us more with each attack than they could ever destroy." The ship's computational systems began to generate complex predictive models, not just of the current attack, but of potential future technological interactions. The Horizon was learning, adapting, transforming in ways that defied conventional understanding. Quantum resonance algorithms are now operating at maximum efficiency, a junior engineer called out. The words would have seemed like science fiction mere moments ago. Captain Harrison's voice cut through the controlled excitement. "Continue analysis," he commanded. "We're turning their assault into our greatest scientific opportunity." The universe watched as humanity demonstrated that its true weapon was not technology, but the insatiable ability to understand, adapt, and transform. The communication systems of the U.S. Horizon thrummed with an energy that was anything but defensive. Captain Jack Harrison leaned forward, his fingers dancing across the quantum communication interface with a precision that belied the gravity of the situation. "High Strategist Voxnar," he began, his voice calm and almost conversational. "You're interrupting some fascinating research. I don't suppose we could schedule this confrontation for a more convenient time." The bridge crew exchanged subtle glances. This was psychological warfare at its most sublime, turning an existential threat into a bureaucratic inconvenience. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller suppressed a slight smile, her scientific mind already analyzing the communication strategy. The linguistic algorithms were working overtime, translating not just words, but the subtle psychological undertones of human communication. "Our current research trajectory is quite delicate," Captain Harrison continued, as if discussing a minor scheduling conflict. "We've been tracking some extraordinary quantum anomalies in this sector, and your intervention is somewhat disruptive to our methodology." On the Haelor flagship, High Strategist Voxnar found himself experiencing an unprecedented emotional response. Confusion. No species had ever responded to total annihilation with such casual indifference. Marcus Walker, the ship's lead engineer, was simultaneously running communication analysis and continuing to adapt their defensive systems. "They're struggling to process our communication pattern," he muttered to Emma Rodriguez. "We're operating so far outside their expected response matrix that their computational systems are becoming overwhelmed." The psychological warfare was multifaceted. It wasn't just about the words. It was about the complete lack of fear, the scientific detachment, the almost bureaucratic tone that suggested the Haelor attack was nothing more than a minor inconvenience. Elena Rodriguez's communication console began picking up increasingly erratic response patterns from the Haelor fleet. Their communication systems were designed for conquest, for terror, for submission. They had no protocols for handling a response that was simultaneously analytical, dismissive, and utterly calm. "Captain," Sarah Miller interjected, "their communication algorithms are showing significant computational stress. We're generating linguistic patterns that their systems can't effectively categorize or respond to." Captain Harrison nodded almost imperceptibly. "Excellent," he responded, his voice maintaining that same infuriatingly calm tone. "Continue monitoring their linguistic response patterns. This is turning into quite the fascinating study of interspecies communication dynamics." The bridge crew worked with a synchronicity that defied traditional military or scientific protocols. They weren't just defending themselves. They were conducting a comprehensive research project in real time, with an alien invasion as their primary data source. High Strategist Voxnar's communication officers worked frantically to generate an appropriate response. Every communication from the human vessel defied their understanding of how a species should respond to total annihilation. There was no fear, no panic, just a calm, almost bureaucratic dismissal of their attack. "We are the Haelor Dominion." Their response finally came, laden with what could only be described as technological aggression. "You will be processed and eliminated." Captain Harrison's response was immediate and utterly bizarre. "Processing sounds time-consuming," he remarked, "and we're quite behind on our research schedule. Perhaps we could discuss this at a later date." The psychological warfare was complete. The Haelor weren't just facing a technologically superior opponent. They were facing a species that found their entire concept of conquest almost laughably inconvenient. Emma Rodriguez's communication analysis showed something extraordinary. The Haelor communication systems were beginning to show signs of computational breakdown. They were literally unable to process a response that so completely defied their understanding of conflict. Linguistic interference is reaching critical levels, Marcus Walker reported. Their communication matrices are becoming increasingly unstable. The U.S. Horizon continued its impossible dance, turning an alien invasion into a research opportunity, transforming terror into analytical curiosity, and reducing a potential apocalyptic confrontation to an administrative inconvenience. Captain Harrison allowed himself the slightest smile. "Continue logging our interaction," he instructed his crew. "This is going to make for an absolutely fascinating research paper." The universe watched, equal parts bewildered and impressed. Data became a weapon more potent than any physical armament. The U.S. Horizon's computational systems operated at a level of complexity that defied traditional understanding. Every millisecond of the Haelor attack was being analyzed, dissected, and transformed into a comprehensive tactical and scientific database that would revolutionize human understanding of extraterrestrial technology. Chief Engineer Emma Rodriguez stood at the epicenter of this technological maelstrom. Her hands moved across quantum interfaces with a grace that was part engineering, part pure scientific artistry. "We're not just defending," she called out to her team. "We're conducting the most comprehensive technological autopsy in human history." Marcus Walker's voice cut through the computational chaos. "Electromagnetic pulse sequencing is reaching critical precision," he reported. "We're about to turn their entire communication network into our personal research laboratory." Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller's scientific console erupted with a cascade of data so complex it would have overwhelmed any standard computing system. "The quantum entanglement patterns are revealing something extraordinary," she announced, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and professional calm. "Their technological infrastructure isn't just a weapons system. It's a complete communication network with vulnerabilities we've never imagined possible." Captain Jack Harrison watched the transformation unfold with a calculated precision. This was more than a battle. It was the ultimate scientific opportunity. Each moment of potential destruction was being converted into pure, unadulterated knowledge. The Haelor vessels began to experience systematic technological breakdown. It wasn't destruction. It was a precise, calculated dismantling of their entire technological ecosystem. Electromagnetic pulses moved through their systems like surgical instruments, separating, analyzing, understanding. Computational interference is reaching maximum efficiency, Elena Rodriguez reported from the navigation console. Her fingers danced across holographic displays, tracking the complex interactions between human technology and the alien system. Their targeting matrices are becoming completely destabilized. High Strategist Voxnar watched in mounting horror as his fleet's technological superiority crumbled. The humans weren't just defending. They were converting the attack into a comprehensive research project. Every weapon strike, every communication burst, every attempted technological intervention was being transformed into data. Marcus Walker's team began implementing adaptive algorithms faster than most computers could process a single calculation. "We're creating a predictive response matrix that's 3 steps ahead of their entire technological infrastructure," he explained to a junior engineer, his eyes gleaming with scientific excitement. The scientific implications were staggering. The Horizon wasn't just a ship. It was a living, breathing technological organism that could analyze, understand, and repurpose alien technology in real time. What should have been a moment of total destruction had become the most significant technological research opportunity in galactic history. "Quantum resonance at maximum efficiency," Emma Rodriguez called out. The words would have sounded like science fiction mere moments ago. "We're now operating at technological levels that completely decouple their entire communication network." Captain Harrison allowed himself the slightest smile. This was the essence of human exploration, turning potential annihilation into an opportunity for understanding. The Haelor had come to destroy, but they were instead providing humanity with the most comprehensive technological database ever conceived. Sarah Miller's computational models began to generate predictive scenarios that challenged every known understanding of technological interaction. We're seeing quantum states that shouldn't be possible under current theoretical frameworks, she muttered, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her professional composure. The Horizon systems continued their impossible dance. Electromagnetic pulses moved through the Haelor fleet, not as weapons of destruction, but as precise scientific instruments. Each pulse carried with it a level of computational complexity that systematically broke down the aliens' technological defenses. Linguistic and technological interference is complete, Elena Rodriguez reported. The Haelor communication systems were no longer just compromised. They had been transformed into a comprehensive research platform. Captain Harrison's voice cut through the controlled excitement. "Continue analysis," he commanded. "Every moment of this interaction is a gift of scientific understanding." The universe watched as humanity demonstrated that its true weapon was not technology, but the insatiable ability to transform potential destruction into pure knowledge. The Haelor invasion had become nothing more than an unexpected research opportunity, a testament to human adaptability, scientific curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of understanding. In the vast darkness of space, the U.S. Horizon continued its impossible mission, turning the language of conflict into the poetry of discovery. High strategist Voxnar's communication systems dissolved into a cacophony of quantum-disrupted frequencies. What had begun as a simple extermination mission had transformed into a nightmare beyond any Haelor strategic projection. The human vessel, this U.S. Horizon, was not just defending itself. It was systematically dismantling the most advanced technological infrastructure in the known galaxy. "Impossible," Voxnar muttered, a concept rarely experienced by the Haelor leadership. Impossibility was a human construct, a weakness of species that did not understand the absolute nature of technological superiority. But they were wrong. On the bridge of the Horizon, Captain Jack Harrison watched the unfolding scenario with a clinical detachment that would have chilled any traditional military commander. "Continue full-spectrum analysis," he instructed his crew. The words were casual, as if they were conducting a routine scientific survey, rather than systematically neutralizing an entire alien invasion force. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller's scientific console erupted with data so complex it would have overwhelmed any standard computing system. "Their technological infrastructure is completely compromised," she reported. "We're not just disrupting their systems, we're understanding them at a fundamental quantum level." Marcus Walker, the ship's lead engineer, moved between holographic displays with a precision that bordered on the artistic. "Their shield harmonics are becoming a textbook example of technological vulnerability," he explained to a junior engineer. "We're literally writing the definitive research paper on advanced alien defensive systems, while they're still trying to attack us." The Haelor fleet began to experience a systematic technological collapse that defied their understanding of warfare. Each of their weapon systems was being transformed, analyzed, understood. What should have been a moment of total destruction had become the most significant technological research opportunity in galactic history. High strategist Voxnar's tactical officers worked frantically, their advanced computational systems becoming increasingly unstable. The humans were doing something unprecedented. They were treating an invasion as a scientific investigation. "Quantum computational interference is reaching critical levels," Elena Rodriguez reported from the navigation console. Her fingers danced across holographic interfaces, tracking the complex interactions between human technology and the alien system. Their entire communication network is becoming a comprehensive research database. Emma Rodriguez, the chief engineer, allowed herself a slight smile. "We're not just defending," she called out to her team. "We're conducting the most comprehensive technological autopsy in human history." The scientific implications were staggering. The Horizon wasn't just a ship. It was a living, breathing technological organism that could analyze, understand, and repurpose alien technology in real time. Each moment of potential destruction was being converted into pure, unadulterated knowledge. Retreat protocols are becoming impossible. a Haelor tactical officer reported to Voxnar. The words carried a tone that the Haelor leadership had never experienced: genuine uncertainty. Captain Harrison's voice cut through the communication systems with a calm that was more terrifying than any weapon. "We appreciate the technological contribution to our research," he remarked, as if the Haelor were nothing more than unexpected research assistants. Sarah Miller's computational models began to generate predictive scenarios that challenged every known understanding of technological interaction. "We're seeing quantum states that shouldn't be possible under current theoretical frameworks," she muttered, her scientific curiosity overwhelming her professional composure. A Haelor had come to destroy, but they were instead providing humanity with the most comprehensive technological database ever conceived. Their invasion had become nothing more than an unexpected research opportunity, a testament to human adaptability, scientific curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of understanding. High strategist Voxnar realized the fatal error in their attack strategy. Humans were not just another conquest. They were a species of unprecedented adaptability, technological creativity, and scientific curiosity. The very act of attack had become a method of human learning. "Computational systems are becoming completely destabilized," Marcus Walker reported, his voice a mixture of scientific excitement and professional calm. "We're operating at technological levels that completely decouple their entire communication network." The remaining Haelor ships attempted to retreat, but found themselves caught in an intricate web of technological and tactical mastery. Each movement was anticipated. Each strategy was already being analyzed and understood before it could be implemented. In the vast darkness of space, the U.S. Horizon continued its impossible mission, turning the language of conflict into the poetry of discovery. The universe watched, equal parts bewildered and impressed. The silence that followed was more profound than any weapon discharge. The U.S. Horizon drifted amidst the remnants of the Haelor fleet, not as a victor in a traditional sense, but as a living scientific instrument that had just conducted the most comprehensive technological analysis in galactic history. Captain Jack Harrison studied the holographic displays, each showing intricate quantum data streams that would revolutionize human understanding of extraterrestrial technology. "Full spectrum analysis," he instructed, his voice calm and methodical. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Miller's scientific console became a kaleidoscope of complex data patterns. "We've captured an unprecedented amount of technological information," she reported. "Their communication systems, weapon technologies, quantum manipulation techniques, it's a comprehensive database that will take decades to fully process." Marcus Walker moved between holographic interfaces with the precision of a surgeon. "The quantum entanglement patterns alone are going to rewrite our understanding of interstellar communication," he muttered, his eyes gleaming with scientific excitement. Emma Rodriguez, the chief engineer, began implementing comprehensive data preservation protocols. "We're not just collecting data," she explained to her team. "We're creating the most extensive xenotechnological archive in human history." The Haelor vessels surrounding them were not destroyed. They were systematically disabled, their systems carefully preserved for scientific study. Each ship was now nothing more than a massive research specimen, waiting to be thoroughly examined. Elena Rodriguez's communication console began picking up scattered transmissions from the remaining Haelor communication networks. The messages were fragmented, confused, a stark contrast to the previous absolute certainty of their invasion force. "Their entire communication infrastructure is in complete disarray," Elena reported. "It's like we've surgically dismantled their technological ecosystem without firing a single traditional weapon." Captain Harrison allowed himself the slightest smile. This was more than a victory. It was a comprehensive demonstration of human scientific capability. The Haelor had come to destroy, and instead, they had provided humanity with the most significant technological research opportunity ever encountered. Quantum computational models began to generate predictive scenarios that challenged every known understanding of interstellar conflict. The Horizon wasn't just a ship, it was a living, breathing technological research platform that had turned an attempted genocide into a massive scientific expedition. Preparing preliminary research reports, Sarah Miller called out. The words would have sounded absurd in any previous first contact scenario. But here, in the aftermath of an alien invasion, it was the most natural response imaginable. High Strategist Voxnar's final communication burst revealed the true magnitude of their miscalculation. The message was a fragmented plea for understanding, for comprehension, emotions entirely foreign to the previously absolute Haelor leadership. "We do not understand," the transmission read, a testament to the complete breakdown of their technological and philosophical superiority. Emma Rodriguez's team began the delicate process of extracting and preserving the alien technological systems. Each component was treated not as a weapon, but as a precious scientific specimen. "Look at these quantum manipulation techniques," she said to a junior engineer. "We're looking at technological concepts that push the boundaries of our current understanding." The scientific community back on Earth would be overwhelmed. This wasn't just first contact. This was a comprehensive technological revolution waiting to be unpacked. Captain Harrison's final communication to the fragmented Haelor fleet was both a warning and an invitation. "We recommend diplomatic channels for future interactions," he transmitted, his voice carrying a mixture of scientific curiosity and professional calm. This current method has proven somewhat inefficient. Marcus Walker's computational models were already beginning to extract fundamental technological principles from the captured Haelor systems. "We're looking at communication technologies that operate on quantum principles we've only theorized about," he explained, his voice a mixture of excitement and professional restraint. The U.S. Horizon began its return journey, carrying with it a technological payload that would change human understanding of the universe. Not a single human life had been lost. Not a single unnecessary shot had been fired. Instead, an entire alien invasion had been transformed into the most significant scientific expedition in human history. Elena Rodriguez's final transmission summed up the entire encounter perfectly. "Mission status," she reported, "unexpected research opportunity successfully concluded." In the vast darkness of space, the universe watched, equal parts bewildered and impressed by humanity's unprecedented approach to first contact. The Haelor invasion had become nothing more than an unexpected research opportunity, a testament to human adaptability, scientific curiosity, and the relentless pursuit of understanding.